My name is Eddie Achola, although most people know me as Wodday. For folks who don't come from my part of the world, Wodday is just a title, means the father to Wodday. I'm a Kenyan-American who goes back and forth between Kisumu, Karateng in Western Kenya and Long Beach, California. I'm a very big proponent of Black people moving back to the continent, and so I have a YouTube channel called Wodday, and I use that platform to help people who are living outside Africa to come and live in the village. So currently I'm in the village, and my goal is to move back here permanently. My profession, I'm actually an educator. I'm a full professor. That's quote unquote my day job. But when I'm not doing my educator stuff, I am a builder. I help folks build at home. I help folks buy property and everything that involves people moving back to Africa. And that's in a sense what I do. I'm also a family guy. I've got 2 supervisors, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And they live with me full time, but we go back and forth. My wife is with them now, but currently I'm in the village by myself. So yeah, that's me. I have a farm back there. I've got chicken. I actually sell eggs. I've got chicken, I've got vegetables, I've got fruits, I've got corn. Almost 80 to 90% of what I eat comes from here.
So how many trays of eggs do you get from here?
At least 30 trays a day.
30 trays?
Yes. And that is still not enough for the local market. Because the demand for eggs is so high that maybe once in a while, when we have eggs from outside Kenya, they dump them once in a while. That can mess up with the market.
How many birds do you have?
About 800, almost 1,000 birds. Yeah. But I also have friends who've never left Kenya and are doing so well. Yeah. Some of them actually make way more money than those of us who live in Diaspora.
Wodday,
yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
This has been the longest collab. People have been asking for it.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes,
glad to hear that.
Guys who have been telling me, look for Wodday.
Yes.
Since I don't know when, but finally I'm here.
Yes.
You realize we are neighbors.
Yeah. I didn't know either. When I was talking to the Enochs, I didn't know our homes are like less than 10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes apart.
Yes.
Yes. How are you? How is your life in the village?
Well, as you can tell, it's wonderful. And I say wonderful because the village is one place where my spirit, my soul, my body all come together in the same spot.
I can tell.
Yes.
You look very energetic.
Oh, I'm happiest. I'm happiest when I'm in this village right here.
The reason why I've been trying to get you and to have this conversation, you're the only person who tells us 100% how things are over there.
Right.
In Diaspora.
Yes.
And one of the things that you've been trying to achieve right now is you lived in Diaspora for almost 20 years.
Yes.
And one of the things you're trying to do is to permanently settle here.
Yes.
How has your journey been from there to here? First of all, paint us a life that you had over there and just contrast them.
Well, I've had different experiences over the years, but when I started out, I left Kenya as a student. I was still fairly young.
Yeah.
And when you leave as a student, it's a very different pathway compared to other pathways like somebody who's coming to the US on a green card lottery. So as a student, first of all, there are so many restrictions placed on your visa, and you have to maintain those restrictions to keep your status.
Yeah.
And it was adventurous. I was young. It was wonderful. I would encourage anybody who wants to do that, that's fine. But the America that we had 20 years ago is not the same as the America we have today.
What has changed?
A lot. So much has changed. Back then, rules were a little bit more flexible. We could get away with a whole lot, and life was also cheaper. I remember I used to live in Pennsylvania. Back then, we shared an apartment, 3 guys, and our rent plus everything, we were paying less than $500. Rent, utilities, power, and all that. So it was really cheap, fairly cheap. Now today, the same apartment is almost 3 times what it used to be.
Yeah.
And so at the time, I think it was easy to maneuver things around, But currently, as you know, with the current politics going on,
yes,
there's always been hostility against foreigners. But right now, it's on another scale. So that makes life difficult. That's one thing. But the second thing too, when you're young, when you first move to diaspora, you're excited, you want to explore, and that's okay to do that. Over time, once you've been around, and I've traveled to almost 40 different states in the US, I've spent a few years, you get to a point where there's not a whole lot that is new. And then you realize that whatever you needed to achieve, most of it you've accomplished, for some of us.
Yeah.
And then you ask yourself, what's next? So that's the first part. Then the second part of it is, as an African born and raised in the village, this is all I knew for the first half of my life. And then I left Kenya, went to a completely different world. In fact, the town that I lived in was so small, sometimes I would even take a whole week without seeing a black person. And so for the first time, I realized that really I am black. because back at home, everybody looks like me, talks like me, it's all the same, it doesn't matter. But then you go to a place where not only are you different, but you'll find groups of people that love black people. But then there are also groups of folks who really don't like black folks. And for the first time, I experienced what racism looks like. And then on top of that, you add the weather to it. I mean, the northeastern part of the US is cold. Coming from Kisumu, this is the weather that we have like almost all year round.
All year round.
Looks like this, yes. And at the time, I actually moved to Western Pennsylvania in January, which is like the middle of winter, sort of. It was cold. It was so cold, like you can imagine walking out and your nose, your ears, your lips, everything hurts. So it was really hostile. But even beyond that, the sense of isolation. Because when I moved there, my brother lived in Texas at the time, and he still does. I didn't know many people. I didn't know anybody in Western Pennsylvania at the time. And so that sense of isolation, spending Christmas by yourself, every single holiday, in a very strange world where your world revolves around work, school, home, work, school, home. It was really difficult. So doing that for so long, it gets to you. And so after going through all of that, there were good parts of it, but then there are parts of it that were not so fun. So you are always, I mean, many of us are always missing home. In fact, many of the folks that I talk to, because I do a lot of conversations with the diaspora. I meet them, some of them actually visit me here. Over 90% of them want to come back because you'll get a lot in diaspora, but at the same time, you will give up a lot by going there.
So you see, we, the people who are always here back home, when you leave us here and you go to countries like America, in our heads, you know, you're always in the land of milk and honey. You guys are doing well. And all we demand from you is send us money.
Some people, some people do that.
Some people do that. But the reality is the struggles there, the living standards over there, sometimes it's very, most people go through it too much. Sometimes they don't even come back home. They decide to stay there, like they don't want, because the cost of coming back and how people are expecting them to, you know, the bills you're supposed to pay just back home is too much for them. And life is not as green as they think sometimes life is over there.
It's true. But it's also important to note that people have different experiences. I know Kenyans or Africans who are very wealthy in the US, very comfortable when they're doing really well. So it is true. America can be the land of milk and honey. It's true. That there are many people who are doing really well. That's just the reality of it. Then many of us are somewhere in between, where you have some good days, some bad days, as you'll see with every place. But then there's also a segment of Africans who are really struggling. As you say, people who, even though they want to come back, they can't. Because as you say, first of all, the cost of traveling back to Africa is very expensive. Traveling within the US is fairly cheap. But that trip from whether it's Europe to Africa or US to Kenya is fairly expensive. Now you can imagine a family of maybe 6, mom and dad and 4 kids, buying tickets only. Depending on where they live, you're looking at sometimes more than $10,000 on tickets only. And then when you're coming home, as you said, people are expecting gifts. And then when you're home, sometimes you arrive and then every bill is on you. People are expecting you to pay for stuff. So that trip home, in some ways, can be very expensive. So as a result, there are people who would like to come as often, but they can't. Then there's also a small group of folks who don't have the ability to come because they don't have papers.
At what point, when you were in the US, that you decided to start even the construct your place and decide, hey, you know what, after this period of time, I need to go back home?
Okay. Well, I would say that I stayed in the US for probably about 10 years without coming home. And again, most of it I was in school. Because I went to grad school, I did my master's, then I got a scholarship for a PhD program, finished that, then I started working. And all this time, I was barely making it financially. So I couldn't, and then I was still waiting to get my paperwork still. Because I moved from getting a student visa to what they call a H-1B visa, which is a work visa, into a green card before I became a citizen. And that process took me nearly 10 years. And I spent thousands of dollars. It's a very expensive, it can be a very expensive process.
Yeah.
So at the tail end of it, after I got my green card, I always wanted to come back and visit. So I came back, and that time I didn't even have a Simba. And for those of you who come from my part of the world, young boys are expected to build little
lions.
That we can call lions. Yes, I didn't have that. So I came back the first time. My brother had built his. So we of course we spent that time in there, and it was fine. Then I went back and I got married. So the next time I came back, I arrived home with a wife and a child. My son was about a year old. So then we came back to the same Simba, very small. So my brother is here, I'm here with my wife and my child. And then at night it starts raining. Unfortunately, this Simba had, I would say, openings, generous openings up there.
Yes.
So then my wife wakes up and finds my son, 1 year old, standing there with his tongue out, licking rainwater from the roof. So, and so she was like, okay, this is not happening. We are not doing this.
Yeah.
And that was right before COVID. So it was clear that, hey, we need a place to come in, because for many of us who come back home and we don't have a place to get in, it's very difficult and very expensive to live in B&Bs. Because like say, here's my village. Kisumu City, CBD is like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Those of us who come from this village and don't have homes, we often have to rent in Kisumu town. And so that renting B&B, renting a car and traveling back and forth is very difficult and very expensive. So after that December, after that incident, we decided that we're gonna need to build a place. Thankfully, we have access to land, which is where our home is located. And my parents were really supportive of that. Unfortunately for me, when we were just coming back to set up, that was right when COVID was just hitting.
Yeah.
So I came back home, and culturally, there are some rules that I had to break. Because I didn't have a Simba, I couldn't travel with my wife because of COVID and all that.
Yeah.
And my older brother was just getting ready to set his home up. So in our traditions, I was not allowed to build. But I just went ahead and did it. And so that's when I decided, let's just put in a place. And we built it up. All we had was just a roof, windows, doors, and light. That's all we had. Even the flooring was not there. So we just started. Then the rest of it, we just finished here.
In your channel, you try to help people who are in diaspora, and also to shed a picture, or to paint a picture of how life is there, and you encourage people to build back home.
Yes.
Why did you come up with this? Why did you start sensitizing people that, hey guys, that is not home. This is home.
Well, I would say I arrived at that spot almost by accident, because I think it was maybe a year or 2 years ago, I started talking about my own experiences. But then it turns out that so many people who live outside Kenya, and it doesn't matter whether they live in Saudi Arabia, Uganda, UK, whatnot, we all have very similar experiences. Many of us really struggle doing projects back at home.
Yeah.
Because we often try to rely on relatives or friends and all that. And in the majority of cases, it doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
I don't know a single diasporan who has never lost money through either relatives or friends. And so that happened to me too. I didn't lose money through relatives, but I didn't know how systems work at home.
Yeah.
So I would get like fundis, and something that would cost like maybe 500 shillings, they would charge me like 2,000. And when you're gone for too long, you don't know how much things cost. So I went through that, and my saving grace is that I have very amazing siblings and my parents. So there are people that even today, they would even use their own money to do my stuff. So I've never lost money through relatives and all that stuff. And then over time, I got to learn what fundis can do what. And so I built a network of architects, builders, people who get land and all that I've relied on for years. And so once I started sharing these stories online, telling people, hey, here's what my folks are doing, then people started reaching out.
Yeah.
And that's how I find myself in this spot where currently I get calls from people from all over the world. Some of them are Kenyans, others have never been to Kenya. I meet a lot of African Americans who just want to move to Kenya. Some of them are actually Africans from places like Congo, Botswana, who just want to come to Kenya. And so I'm more than happy to share my experiences and the networks to help them do that. Yeah.
Do you see with the stories, that you've had or people have related to you, which is the worst story that you've had of people scamming guys in diaspora?
Oh, well, you know.
Because people have told me quite a number. There are guys who, someone shared with me that they have been sending money to the relative. Then when they came, so the relative had been recording somebody else's construction site.
Yes. A lot of those. Where, I mean, you'll hear cases where what you pay for is not what you get. And some of it, actually, it's not that people are being nefarious in their intentions. Sometimes it's the skill level. Because, you know, once you live in diaspora, there are certain things you expect in terms of quality of work. But people who have never lived outside, it's very hard for them to see that. And so in many cases, the people back at home try to do their best, but their best may not match our expectations. So that's one. But then, of course, you have people who are just doing their own kinds of things. So I've got lots of stories of people who have, I don't even know how to rank them. But one of the two cases, and I probably won't share too much because some of this is shared in confidence, is a place where, as a person who lives in diaspora, you send money, you build stuff, and then they take it over. Yeah, like they just take it away from you. I've had maybe two cases where, in one case, now the diaspora person is being required to pay to get their property back. Like they're telling him or her to pay like maybe 5 million so they can give them back the property they built. There are also cases where once you're done with the construction, then they take you to court. They're like, oh, no, this is not yours. And then the diaspora person finds out that even the land, when it was bought, whoever his name was on it had nothing to do with the diaspora person.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So they simply take away everything. Like once you bailed, then they take it away. And there are also cases where actually they put your life at risk because when you come back home, they'll set you up. So yes, things happen. Some people are not nice out here.
So how many trays of eggs do you get from here?
At least 30 trays a day.
30 trays?
Yes. And that is still not enough for the local market. Because the demand for eggs is so high that maybe once in a while, when we have eggs from outside Kenya, they dump them once in a while. That can mess up with the market, especially eggs from Uganda. But that's like a temporary thing. They'll bring it in, mess up the market, and then after that, we actually can't even satisfy the local market.
So the demand for eggs is actually very high.
Very high.
Every day there are people come to collect eggs here.
Yes, the people come to buy from us, but those who are close by, on my way out as I go to my construction projects, I can always drop off for. But most people just come for eggs here.
How long have you been doing this chicken farming also by the way?
Now about 2 years. Yeah, we've been doing this about 2 years, and we started small. I started with about maybe 100 birds, and for me, what I've always done, I get like 1-day-old chicks. And then it takes almost anywhere 4 to 6 months for them to get to a point where they start laying. So for the first couple of months, you're actually spending and not getting anything in return. And that happens with different batches too. Because the first batch is almost done with laying eggs. And then we have the second, the third, and the fourth batch. That's why you see the way they've been arranged based on when they were brought here.
But Wodday, you don't show us this on your channel quite often.
Yes.
Why? Why have you kept it a secret?
The village has many, many secrets. This is one of those things that I ask folks to come see us.
Yes.
Because you know, on camera, you only see about 20% of our lives. Because my videos are only like maybe 10 minutes. And that's, 10 minutes is not enough for me to show you everything.
Wow.
But there's a whole lot that goes on in the village that the best way to see real life here is for folks to come and just see us. Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
So soon you'll be having people coming to learn from you.
Well, that would be nice. I'd be more than happy to share what I've learned, but I still consider myself as an experimental farmer. Because
how many birds do you have?
About 800, almost 1,000 birds. Yeah.
And you're calling yourself an experimental farmer?
It's still experimental. Because, trust me, I've seen much bigger farms. And like I said, I didn't do this anywhere formally in school. And so I'm learning by experimenting. And so far, I'm okay with the experiment. But you know, the problem with that is that you make a lot of mistakes too.
Yeah, true.
Yes. And so far, I would say not bad, but we could still scale it up to a much bigger farm where we're actually supplying eggs to corporate entities like supermarkets, hotels, and things like that. Because right now, our target market is just the local shops, especially shops within Karating, and then shops within Kisumu. Because my sister actually has another shop in Kisumu where we stock the eggs. And so our clients who are within Kisumu CBD can always go to my sister and then just get it from her. And our prices don't match what you see in the supermarkets.
You get like good prices.
Yes, they're usually at least 200 shillings cheaper than the supermarket. The same eggs. Because they get it from ours, then they tack on the other 200 to 300 shillings on top, then sell it to you. But when you get it from ours, it's always far cheaper. But thinking about agribusiness that they could explore, I think the egg business is worth it. Because as I say, for the most part, we really can't, we don't have enough eggs to satisfy the market. Besides the eggs, we also do quite a bit of vegetables. Most of what you see here is the local vegetables. Like this one is called osuga. In fact, we are almost just running out of it because we just had a client come in and take like quite a bit of it. So we have osuga, we have a bunch of other, all of this is all traditional vegetables. And on the other side, that's where we have what I would typically call sekuma. Yes.
Sekuma.
Yes. Now that is the name we use on this side of town.
Yes.
So then, and maybe if we can go, I'll show you. But in between, I also make sure that we plant different fruit varieties. So we have got pawpaws, we've got lockwards, we've got avocados. In fact, I think the avocados are going to be ripening in about 2 months. And then we have mangoes, mostly grafted mangoes on the other side. So if you come here around November, December, you'll see a ton of mangoes out here. And most of our fruits, we just give them to our neighbors because oftentimes we have more fruits than we can eat.
Oh, the fruits that you harvest from here?
Yes, most of it actually we just give out to our neighbors and maybe guests that come visit us because we planted them for our own enjoyment. We didn't plant them for commercial purposes, unlike the vegetables and the chicken part.
So that is your source of water?
Yes, yes. So I have a well here,
and
the well is connected to solar water pumping system. So so we have a water pumping system on the other side that uses solar. And that again, that's my strategy for keeping our costs low. So it pumps the water up to the tank, and this is what is used here. In fact, the same well also serves our home. My home is down there, and my brother's home is right here. So the same well serves the farm and then serves our homes. So for us, even during dry season, we still have vegetables.
Because you are doing your irrigation
Yes, we just irrigate them with our water right here. So we always have vegetables. And that's why I told you my neighbors typically come to buy vegetables when some of them actually have bigger pieces of land. Yes. Yeah.
And again, now the secrets now that you don't showcase.
So they have to come. They need to come. Yes. So
they need to physically come.
Some things you have to come and see. Yes.
And see for themselves. Yes. I see you've grown a lot of.
Yeah. So this is the side that has now the other vegetables. See, we've got quite a bit of sekuma over here, and I think some of them need to be replaced now. And actually, most of our fruits are eaten just by birds, wild birds. If not our neighbors, it's the birds. Like this lockworts, if you came here about maybe 3 weeks ago, you'd have seen like a ton of lockworts over here, which now it's done. And then this is where we have our compost pit where we compost manure. So once we get the bird droppings, we compost them here, and that is what we use for the entire farm. We don't buy fertilizer.
Oh, this is your fertilizer for the entire farm?
Yes, we don't buy fertilizer. So we compost it here, and it is what we use for the vegetables, both on this side and the other side. So the vegetable farm goes all the way down to the other side. Yeah.
Oh, this is your farm all the way down?
All the way up to that house over there. So we used to have a lot more mangoes here, but we had to remove all of them because they were bringing shade. So yeah, we took out some of those mangoes just to create more space for Sekoma. But it turns out actually the local vegetables are much more lucrative because people eat a lot more local vegetables than Sekoma. Yeah.
I thought people love Sekoma more than this local one.
I don't know, but for whatever reason, we always run short of the local vegetables. Yeah, because Sekoma, especially when it's raining, then pretty much everybody has vegetables.
Yes.
But the local ones, there's always people buying them even when it's rainy. Yeah. Sekoma does really well during dry season. Because for us it's dry, but we have the water. So we can easily just irrigate, and we have our vegetables around the clock. And this is why I tell folks, 80 to 90% of what I eat comes straight from here. Yeah.
You eat healthy?
Yeah. Nearly everything we eat just comes from here. So then the farm is much bigger. My parents' home is on the other side. And then behind there, that's when now we plant our corn.
Right.
Yeah. So typically you'll find somebody coming in, they buy corn flour, they buy vegetables, they get eggs here, and they have a complete meal.
Your life in the village.
Yeah.
Your life now that you are back here.
Yes.
In Africa.
Yes.
How is it? How are you enjoying life down here?
Well, for me, like I said, I was raised in a village. Not here. This has always been my ancestral home. Yeah. But I was born and raised in a city called Oyugis in southern part of Nyanza. Very small market center at the time. And life was wonderful. We were poor. Now that I know what I know, we were poor. And so, but even in that, we had such a huge sense of freedom. I don't think we needed much, but the little we had, life was wonderful. We were just happy living in nature. So now as an adult, when I come back, there's certain things in the village that reminds me of that life that I had as a child. Like coming back and you hear the birds. Yeah. And then at night, I can tell you that the last time I actually saw stars in the US was probably maybe 10 years ago. Just seeing stars at night. And the reason being, in America, I live in Long Beach, which is right side of Los Angeles. It's a relatively big metropolis with lights all over the place. You can see the stars, But in the village at night, when we grew up, we didn't have electricity in the village. And so when you're sitting out here, you see all the stars. So when I'm here, I look at things like that. Or when I'm just walking around the village, I see the same river we used to swim in. The same river we used to fish in. We walk on the dirt paths around here. So that connection with my childhood makes me just feel wonderful. So that's one thing. The second thing too is that in the village you still have a lot of communal life. Like here, somebody just wake up in the morning and just knock by my gate. I open, they walk in, we just talk. Or when I'm walking, I have a lot of interactions with people. In Long Beach, where I live, like in many places in Diaspora, half the time we don't even know who lives next door. My neighbor, I've got a neighbor, and my neighbors are very nice. I think he has got 2 kids. We've lived in that spot for over 6 years. I've never seen a single guest go to their house. Even his kids, I've never seen a single kid of his go visit him. And so there are certain things about the village that we miss when we leave. And so when I come back, I'm able to interact with my peers. I'm able to.
There's a place you mentioned one of your videos that there are things that living diaspora took away from you. That you forgot that this is how we do things back home. And when you come back, you find it weird. Sometimes even sitting someone being so close to you.
Lots of it. Because when you live there for a while, you also kind of pick up some of their ways of life. So in that video, I was talking about an experience where I went to a funeral somewhere in South Nyanza, and the seats were right close to each other. And then a lady comes and sits next to me, and another guy sits next to me, and they're literally touching me. And where I live in Long Beach, that's very strange, because the idea of personal space is a big thing.
Yes.
For the first time, I was like, wow, I could get used to this. This feels wonderful.
Yeah.
And then I pick up a kid, somebody had a kid next to me, and I was just playing with the kid, and then she just lets me hold the baby. I'm playing, and then she walks away. She doesn't even seem bothered. And so there are habits that we pick up that make us even forget what Africa feels like. And so when I'm back in the village here, just recovering that piece of my life is just wonderful.
So are you, because you're trying to, when you say you're trying to permanently relocate to Kenya.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is that I want to be in a place where I don't have to go back to the US.
But you're a US citizen.
Yes, I am.
You pay tax over there.
I do. But the difference is that when I live here full time, well, my suspicion is my taxes may be slightly different if I'm living full time here. Currently, I still go back and forth because I'm still putting my things together. Once things line up, I want to be in a place where I could even live here for 5 years without ever needing to go back to the US. That's what I want. So I'm spending more and more time home, but for a reason or the other, some things are still up in the air. I still have to go back. But once things are lined up, I want to be in a place where I could even spend like maybe 5-10 years without going back to the US. And at some point, I hope that we create a world in Africa where Africans don't have to leave. Because many of us leave Africa because we have to, not because we want. Whether it's economics, whether it's educational opportunities, career, all kinds of reasons. Because for me, I left for school. And I left for hopefully better opportunities. If we can create the same things here in Africa, so that our young people don't have to go through the indignity that they do when they're going to the embassies.
True.
I'm sure you're aware of what happens with these embassies. Our people endure so much indignity. Even for me, I told myself that I went to the US Embassy once. I swore I would never want to go back there again. So one of the biggest things I'm passionate about is creating a world here at home in Africa, not just Kenya, so that whatever forces people to leave is addressed, so that people don't have to leave.
True.
Yeah.
So is it costly for you being a dual citizen?
Well, yes, it is. It is because, again, like I said, I still have to have a life in Kenya, and I also have a life the other side.
Yes.
So, supporting lives on both sides financially can be tough, but it is absolutely worth it. Because the nice thing with the village is that once you build your home and you have a way to move around, you can actually live on very little. I'm 100% on solar.
You are on solar?
100% on solar. So while I'm connected to the national grid, I use solar as my primary. So I don't pay for electricity, basically. I have my own water, I manage my own trash, and because these are ancestral lands, there is nothing like property taxes. In the US, our home, we have to pay property taxes every year. Even your car, you have to pay taxes on your car every year. So the cost of life in the village can be so low that it's not that bad. But maintaining lives on both ends definitely costs money.
Talking about what you eat, your soul and everything. All your foods, you grow your foods.
Yeah, I grow my own food. Like even right here where I'm sitting, if you look there, you'll see like passion fruit. You look around, this is a pawpaw tree. You'll see guava. Like all around, I purposely plant trees knowing exactly what I'm looking for.
You're eating organic food.
And yes, we don't use chemicals here. In fact, I take chicken manure. That's what I use for fertilizer. So 90% of what I eat just comes from my farm. Clean, organic, and almost very, very inexpensive because all I have to pay is the person who helps me with the farm work.
At this time, we have young men like me who are trying to get the Mighty Visa. We are selling lands. Young people are selling lands. Our parents still believe that the solution is out there. Do you think the solution is over there?
I would say yes and no. For one, for young people who have the opportunity, if you have the opportunity, I would say go. Because I've seen what the US has done to my life. Living in the US has really transformed my life. I got lots of opportunities that I may have not gotten access to had I lived here. So I always say, if a young man gets an opportunity, hey, go explore the world. But keep in mind that there are opportunities here at home too. In fact, that's part of the reason that is bringing us back home here, that in the village, especially where we live right here, you'll see a lot of opportunities that people who have not left the village may not notice. Like right now, can you believe that even though I live in the US, but around here, I'm the one who supplies people with eggs. I supply them with vegetables. I supply them with corn. So on an average day, a villager could come, they get corn flour. They buy corn flour, they buy eggs, and they buy vegetables from me. And then they go and eat. And these are the same villagers who have, some of them actually have bigger pieces of land. Yeah. Definitely, it's not just an opportunity. Some of them, of course, economically are in a different space.
Yes.
But those are opportunities that are here, but sometimes they're not as visible to people who have not left. So besides that agribusiness, there's a lot of opportunity in the village here that young people can explore. Because I also have friends who've never left Kenya and are doing so well. Yeah. Some of them actually make way more money than those of us who live in diaspora. And I'm not even talking about young men who are involved with government or the other stuff that people do online.
Yes.
No, these are just young people who are working hard. There are lots of opportunities here in the village
that young people can explore.
Exactly, yeah. So I say, I mean, if you get an opportunity, go check it out, leave. But also remember to come back. Once you do what you got to do, come back.
But the picture that
yes,
some of the people that travel abroad, they paint to us, they give us sometimes a picture that life is all perfect.
Yeah.
You see, you give us this side of the coin, both sides.
Yes.
We get to see both sides.
Yes.
But it's not like that for most people.
Right.
Some people get it like, life is all sweet over there until when they get there now.
Yeah.
Depression kicks in. Now they have to deal with all these things, and then they get tied in all these taxes, and they can't even live anymore.
Yes.
That is why like your channel is a little bit different.
Right.
Because you paint a picture, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
These guys, the culture here and everything, these things are different, totally different.
Yes.
Somebody selling land, people sacrificing too much to go there. You find someone earning something like 100,000 Kenyan shillings, but they still do as much than they get over there. I've watched stories of people who get over there and they do like small jobs. Though they're paying well. Jobs are there, opportunities are there. But if you look the quality of life, you find here there's like the quality is here.
Sure, that's true. Yeah, I would say that, and again, people can have different opinions on this. I would say if you're doing a decent job in Africa, you're relatively comfortable. I would not advise you abandon that to go start from scratch. And only because sometimes it'll take you a while to get to a better place in diaspora.
Yeah.
You can do it, but it'll take you a while. So for me, if my life in Africa at the time meant comfort, and comfort meaning you earn an okay income, you have your hustle going on, abandoning that to go start from scratch takes you, it sets you back quite a bit. Eventually, many of us actually recover, but it does set you back. Because like for me, it took me at least 10 years to just stabilize. I know some people come in and they're ready to go right away, again, depending on how you made it to the US. But for the average person, it takes you a while to stabilize. Like right now, I would say many of my peers have kids in college. For me right now, I still have toddlers that we just started. So again, it's just a function of how long it took me to stabilize. So in general, my perspective on that would be is that if you are comfortable, you're doing well, relatively well, or at least if you choose to live, please don't get rid of stuff. I've seen people who sell their apartments, sell their homes, sell their land because they're moving to diaspora, only to find out that life can be very different.
That diasporians are also working hard to come and do what you had.
Exactly. And in fact, many of us are shocked when we come back. We find the peers that we left in Kenya, some of them are doing really well, doing way, way better. And so if you have a good life in Africa, you don't have to abandon it to go start from scratch. But that's just my personal opinion on that.
So already, thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Finally, we've done this.
It's been at least a year.
A year, just planning about it.
Yes.
So I really appreciate you for hosting me today.
Of course.
We are neighbors. Now I'll be visiting. When you're around and I'm around, I can always visit.
Yes.
So maybe you give yourself a shout out on my channel for those who did not know you and are just getting to discover you.
Yes.
Just give yourself a shout out on my channel.
For those who are meeting you for the first time, I am Wodday. If you look for that name, you're going to find me. I'm a Kenyan-American. I live most of the time in the village, But I go back and forth between Long Beach, California and in the village. Lennox here is a friend. We've been meaning to connect, but finally it's happened after a year.
Yes.
So if you're interested in content related to Kenyans who have lived abroad and are moving back, check me out. If you're interested in things like construction, finding land, and just everything to do with preparing to move to Africa, check me out. I'm happy to connect with people who know more than I do. Well, thank you guys, and thank you, Lennox.
I knew you'll forget. If you're also interested in farming.
Yes.
Small farming.
Yeah. I'm a small-time farmer.
Yes.
I actually sell eggs. I sell vegetables.
Yeah.
Currently, we supply the local markets. But for those of you who are looking to support us, yes, my number is going to be posted.
Yes, it's on the video right now.
Yes. You can reach out. We're happy to supply you with eggs, and we're also happy to learn from you, those of you who are doing serious farming.
Yeah.
That's it.
So guys, the only way he'll know that you're from my end is when you go to his videos, just comment down there from Lennox. So he will know that you're from my end.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Until next time, my name is Lennox and I'm out.
All right.